Hello again, and welcome to another opportunity to reflect on one of the Psalms. In Psalm 60, we find David is once again involved in a battle. He's away from home and fighting victoriously, but news reaches him of his homeland, which has come under attack. And it is for that reason that he cries out in verse 1, "You have rejected us, God, and burst upon us. You have been angry. Now restore us." He feels as though God has abandoned his people, and therefore he is having to cry out for help in the midst of such judgment. So it is in verse 5 that he says this, "Save us and help us with your right hand, that those you love may be delivered." David is reminding God of the covenant of love that has been expressed throughout what we call the Old Testament. And so it is that David kind of hears God's voice coming to him, almost like a loving parent coming to break up the squabble of their children. And for the next few verses, God speaks out words of assurance of all these places, these attacking nations and these friendly nations that remain his. God is reminding David and David's people that he is still in control, that in the midst of whatever reports of attack or feelings of pressure David is going through, God is still in control. And so it is that towards the end of the psalm, David is able to say this, "With God we shall gain the victory, and he will trample down our enemies." Now, my guess is that not many of us are away from home involved in physical warfare. However, we do sometimes feel under attack. We do sometimes feel as though God has or is rejecting us. We do sometimes feel as though we're very distant from him. And so we cry out to him. We beseech him with assurances that, hang on a second, aren't we among those who you love? Please will you show that? And God does. Sometimes we don't see it very quickly. Sometimes we don't recognize it very readily. But God acts. God supports those who love him. And he stays with us and sustains us and holds us and helps us. And so it is that in the midst of whatever attack we may feel under, whatever rejection we may struggle with, we can always speak with assurance that with God we shall gain the victory and he will trample down our enemies. If we remain faithful to him, if we remain faithful to his calling upon our lives, God will trample down our enemies. Sometimes it's hard to believe that or understand that, or more to the point, understand why we're going through such difficulty if that's his promise. But it remains his promise. And we are to continue to be understanding of that and to trust in that. I pray that you will be able to do that today, especially if you're going through difficult times. Let's pray. Father, thank you that even though sometimes it feels as though you've rejected us, you haven't. You're with us. The very fact that David was crying out to you in prayer demonstrates his trust that your rejection is not complete. Help us to have that trust too. Help us to know that you are with us and you are for us. And help us to call upon you in times of difficulty with a faith and trust that you will act, for you love us. Amen. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to sharing more with you on another day.